All right, welcome back. This is the podcast video for Lord of the Flies. You may have seen our review. If you haven't, click here to check it out. In the review, I had Dino with me, and I have him here again today.
Hello.
But I also have Jay.
Hiya.
And Arjen.
Hello.
And I'm Dylan. And today we'll be talking about Lord of the Flies. And we'll be assuming in this video that you have read it because we will be spoiling everything that there is to spoil.
Well, fuck, I didn't read it.
What?
So, small disclaimer. I didn't read it for this week, or this month actually, but I have read it 4 times for my college course. So I should know the thing.
Yes, you're an expert.
You know all. The all-knowing Jay.
I have approximate knowledge of many things.
Of flies.
Of flies
Of
specifically.
flies and lords of those.
The lording thereof.
Yes. All right. So in the short review in the review video, which I'm also going to spoil now, I know that I quite liked the book, and Dino thought it was the best book we've read thus far on the channel. What did you guys think? I think Arjen wasn't all that positive.
I was not amused. No, I found the book a bit boring. Sure, there happened some stuff, but it didn't really get my attention that much. Every time I started reading, I was like, next chapter, I was like, okay, I'll stop for today. I'll read it again tomorrow. So
it didn't really grab you.
No, and no, I don't think it was that good of a book.
Well, I think it's interesting to me how I quite liked the book again when reading it. I'm like, it's well written and the dialogue is nice, but then when I look back at it, just like the first time I read it, like when I look back at it a week later, I'm like, yeah, it's a book, I guess, and the underlying thought and the discussion didn't really grab me that much. Whereas for Dino, that's the most important thing in the book, I think. The all-important question that we shall get to later, whether or not man is evil by nature.
Yeah. What I sort to answer the question, what I noticed every time I read it was, so I now know how far I need to get into the book before it grabs me, which is as soon as they find pink rocks, I know that the book...
It's pinky time.
Yeah, I know that as soon as they find pink rocks, the book is going to get interesting for me personally. But I told you, and I think I told you as well, that I find the book more interesting to analyze than to actually read. Because
My apologies, I'm just going to turn this around and this should improve our sound, I think.
Technology!
I hope so.
So, yeah, but that is my main thing, because I mean, one thing I've talked this book to death with my homies in college as well, or in university now, and we all sort of agree that there is a lot to this book, and that we all, every time we read it, we sort of felt that we only sort of saw the tip of the iceberg of things that are discussable in this book, which is interesting.
Yes, I suppose it's very rich in that sense. There's a lot of questions and a lot of roles and situations which are addressed.
Yeah,
which is fairly impressive for how short the book is.
Yeah, so it offers a lot to read into if you're into that sort of thing. Basically.
Well, I have to say the language was quite easy to read.
Yes.
The language used.
So what is the effect of language used in novels?
If I may continue on to the other question that I always ask people when they've read this book. I first ask them, well, what did you think? And then I ask, what did you think of the ending of the book?
Perfect. For what it was so for the if you're assuming that this book is commentary on human nature, the fact that as soon as they come back into contact with civilization, they cry and they realize what they did.
Instantly become children again.
Yes, they instantly become children again. I think that's very poignant.
Yeah. And I think you...
Well, I'm not sure what I in a way, I found the ending to be a cop-out, in the sense that, oh, chaos, and then, oh, they're adults, and now the story will end, and now the story ends. I was thinking maybe the story ends with a kind of epilogue, in which, a couple of, the Navy or the military, they arrive on the island, and then they
years later.
Yeah, years later, and then they just find one crazy savage and a lot of dead
Just
bodies.
Piggy surrounded by guts. Going, ah, blah, who's the bully now?
When I was reading the book, when I came at the end of the book, I was like, yeah, I suspected this would happen.
Oh, come on.
Yes, really.
Really?
I was like, oh, it will.
They're gonna get saved and they'll cry. That's what you thought.
No, not really the crying part, but it was like everything will get worse and worse and worse, and Ralph and
Jack
will have. No, they wouldn't like each other at that point. And then when everything looks like, oh, this is gonna get wrong, then the Navy will come, then the adults will come, and everything will get finished. And the only thing I had what I would find interesting is what would happen with the kids afterwards. They can't have lived on that island without
getting some scars of some sort.
Yeah. I agree that would be interesting, but I don't necessarily.
That's not what the book is about. But
yeah, because the book
is a question I had for myself.
Yeah, but I think the book is specifically just about this episode on this island.
Yeah,
which is also why you don't know where they
happened.
Yeah, you don't know where they come from or like what's happening in the outside world. You just know what is happening on this island.
Yeah, no, I know, and it's not that I. What do you call it? Don't like the book because of that. That's not the case. It's just not.
I agree with you that it would be
interesting.
Yes, I agree.
It's funny. I was really surprised by the ending, and I think the surprise is also written very well into the story. It's like you're reading, and then there's this Navy, and you're like, what? This, what? And you flip back, and like, what? This guy is here. It's like, oh yeah, hi.
Steve is also here.
I'm from the Navy.
Hi, my name's Philby. I'm here to save you guys. Yeah,
in the Navy.
Yeah, but there's with the paratrooper as well.
Yeah.
They are.
No.
So like it is seated.
They could have made it. The book could have been so much more.
Oh yeah, if
you did not know
if they
what
didn't,
it was,
if they didn't explain it, but there was actually a beast all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you're like, holy moly, and then afterwards you find out that it's
that's what was a paratrooper.
yeah.
Oh, that would be.
Yeah, so I actually talked to Dino in the bus a while back about this book, and I'd forgotten that you find out that it is a paratrooper before the end of the story, and so I asked him where he was in the story, and he said, yeah, I'm about halfway somewhere. They just found the paratrooper, and I had totally forgotten that they know that it is a paratrooper before the end of the story.
No, they don't know.
No, Simon knows.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, but we as an audience know as well.
Yeah.
So I'd forgotten about that, which is very relevant, I think, for our reading. It provides irony, in a sense, the dramatic irony. That we know something that they don't.
Yeah, that's the. It has a Dutch name. I mean, it also has an English name, but now I'm also forgetting the Dutch name. Jan Klaassen, Klaas Vaak. Like it's like a puppet show effect.
Yeah.
You have
You know what? Well,
Oh, the Punch and Judy thing.
I suppose so. Like the children in the audience know.
Oh no,
it's going to.
dramatic irony.
Oh, that's all right. That's just good. Dramatic irony. All right, sure. That was my attempt to sound smart.
It's
well done.
You are smart, honey. You are math.
No. Well, I am.
We can always count on you.
With the ending. But with the ending, I think it was in a sense. It was also, I think, ironic, the ending, in the way that they're trying to keep this fire alive the whole time, and then when they actually when everything is going to chaos,
Yeah, and
then they let's burn down the idol, and oops, they find us. So that they find them, that they are found by the Navy, I think it was logical.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
and clever.
The thing is,
Clever. Clever is the word.
there's a question I put out just before this, but did Rolf lose or win the game? They are the whole story long. They say it's a game, it's a game, it's a game, and
yeah, we can switch that question forward. So your question was, does Ralph lose this game? And I'm sorry, I'm going to let you continue.
yeah, that's Rolf lose
Sorry,
because.
can you explain what you mean by game in this case?
Oh no! In the book they are talking about that they're playing a game, that it's a game on the island. There's a lot of it comes back a lot of times in the book that they're playing hunters. Oh, we're playing building a fire. They're playing this, and it's set like it's a game, but it's not really a game anymore because people get hurt. But Rolf is saying, no, we have to make the fire. And Jack is like, no, I need to get hunting. And so does Rolf lose the game because everyone is set to hunting at the end, near the end? But in the end, also, the Navy finds them due to fire.
Yeah.
Which was
he does get his fire.
I would argue he wins, because at the end of the book he's basically the only person who gets what he wants, because he wants to get off the island, and they do.
No, I'm not of that opinion, because during the course of the novel, Ralph has this kind of he keeps saying we need to have a fire. But at the end of the story, he has forgotten why they need a fire. It's just, we need to have a fire. And then, why?
Just because.
Just because.
Yeah.
So he forgets about civilization. He forgets.
Yeah.
And then you have Piggy who has to remind him, well, without a fire, we're
doomed.
Yeah, we're doomed.
I'm not sure Ralph actually forgets, but he does become sort of semi-delirious near the end.
Yeah.
It's really wearing him down. But I don't think he completely forgot, but he was just like a little hazy, little high. Like, we need what any fire again?
Yeah.
To get saved. Oh yeah, right.
And I think basically, like, running, he's basically the shepherd to this group of cats that needs to go into a bathtub. And it is very tiring. I mean, no proper substance. It would wear a person down, I guess.
Yeah, especially that. I mean, lousy food, lousy sleeping accommodations, and just insane stress.
On the topic of fire,
I see fire.
I had a question.
Yes, that's a question further down the line.
But we can put it forward.
No, let's wait a little with that, if you do not mind.
I was doing flaming hand motions.
Yes, but the camera couldn't see that anyway.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I was going to discuss this with the guys first, but I guess I'll point it out to you too. Please let me know in the comments if you would like these podcast videos to also have visuals. We could basically just film ourselves, like just open up the lens instead of just talking into it. But
what? No, that would mean I would have to put on pants.
Put on your pants, boy.
Put on your pants, boy.
just use flamey hands and then
flamey hand motions.
It's you'll distract them.
I am imitating fire.
So if you think about it, let me know in the comments if you would like or would not like visuals. But moving on.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
All right. So this is a question which I think is pretty important. Is it significant that there's only boys on the island?
Feminism says yes.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Why are they only...
when I was reading it and when I finished the book, I was wondering What would have happened if
there
there
were
had
also
been girls, or if there had only girls, or if there would have been a mix, or I think it would be a completely different novel.
Yeah.
I
Probably.
think. Okay, so this might be a controversial statement, but if there were women on this island, rape would have happened. I'm sorry.
But even at that age,
Yeah.
Would they? Yeah, they're hitting puberty.
Yeah.
There's like
I
there's
share this.
yeah. So I mean, so in that case, I think it was a wise choice to avoid this.
I'm not sure. I don't know how old the boys are.
I think
They're like 10.
think-
They're like
I think
10
it-
years old.
I think it differs from interpretation to interpretation.
Okay.
I saw some when I was making the review video. I saw some stills from a 2013 version where the boys were much older than I imagined them.
yeah. I always imagine
12,
yeah
14.
yeah somewhere like that.
And
Yeah,
then,
I was
the
thinking
little
10.
ones.
I was thinking little Timmy Turners.
Yeah, I was thinking
'Cause if-
they're like
'cause-
10 years old.
Yeah, if
11,
that's
10 years old.
if they are meant to be 10-year-old, then I take back what I said
Yeah.
about this.
Well, maybe it's because I think it's in the 1960s version, the film adaptation. I think they're all like 10-ish.
Yeah. And I'm not sure because in the start of the novel, Ralph is described, and he is like 11, 12, and he is the oldest, almost the oldest of the guys.
Because
Yeah.
I just
Because the small ones, the middle ones, they're like 6.
yeah.
The
Well, I mean,
ones
but
are
that doesn't.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah, but is it even made explicit?
No, there is no age.
No, there is no explicit age, but I think Ralph is described as having a kind of age.
If only I had Control F eyes. And
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving beyond this point then, because we don't know the age, so my statement is needlessly controversial at this point. So what would have changed if this was a group of women?
I think I could see the story going either way. I think a part of me thinks that the dynamic would have been very different. But a part of me also thinks back to an article that I read very recently from a janitor at a high school who was like, no, they just pretend, but both bathroom stalls are equally disgusting.
Yeah. So, if I remember correctly, this is written around World War II. Yes,
Yes.
54. So, I mean, which is significant. So if we put it in a 1950s mindset, I mean, the gender roles were very different then.
Yes.
Although World War II did happen, so at this point we do see women gaining more independence and being more industrious and no longer just sitting at home. In the sense that they were no longer socially obligated to sit at home and be pretty and like weave.
Well, I think because they're children, I think that if there would be girls on the island and boys, it's a mix, that there would be some sort of instant separation, because around that age,
Girls are icky.
the maybe age, boys and girls aren't really coming along that much. They don't find each other that attractive at that point. Though the little ones would play along with each other because they are more like, oh.
Yeah.
I think that would have been an interesting story in its own way, but it would be a completely different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then
Yes.
it would be about the dynamic between the two groups, and then
Yeah.
oh, well, I guess there is also a dynamic between two groups in this story, but
But
Yeah,
the,
but
a
maybe
different way.
you could have the losers kind of like Piggy who join one
the women's club.
or something.
Look at me with all them women.
I'm working up some breasts.
and one thing also is that if you would have a very strong, arguably you'd start with a strong divide between the two groups, because in this story they start as a cohesive thing, and they drift apart when one group wants to be savage and one group wants to be civilized, basically. If we can reduce it to this distinction, and then if you'd have a group of men and women, you would have a much stronger separation immediately because they start out as equal, basically, because they're all just men of different ages. But if you have men and women, you would have this immediate rift. I would argue.
Yeah, and I think the core of my argument is that it will be a different story in that you would also have two groups, but in this story the two groups are split because of an ideology, in an ideological sense, and with men and women you would probably have two groups which would still be balanced. You'd have people from both ideologies and they'd work it out just to be better than the other group, but
Yeah.
but
Well, maybe if there would be two groups, they would be men and women. They would grow to each other.
Yeah, you could argue that as well.
yeah, I mean,
And for some reason, I find this mental image of this Amazonian women leading the hunters. I find that very I would sign up for this story.
Yeah.
I was worried you're going to say I find this very erotic.
No.
We just stated that they're like
No, absolutely no, not at all. No, I mean I would read that story of like this because I mean generals were generals were very different then.
Yeah.
And and then you see this Amazonian woman rise up and it's like fuck your shit. And then she would.
I'm gonna eat some pig, baby.
Yeah, we're gonna eat pig. And then she would tear off part of her skirt and go into this headband. And she would yank this spear out of Jack's hand. It's like, fuck your shit. I'm gonna hunt pigs.
Yeah, maybe.
You know who can sing higher? I can sing higher.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was your joke.
I have the higher pitch
because-
note.
Yeah, Jack measures his value over the others because he can hit higher notes.
Yeah.
Because he's a castrato.
All right, with your permission, we're getting a little hypothetical with this question, and the following question is very closely related, so maybe this will steer us back in a different direction. Is this story about just boys, or is it in some way a metaphor? Is it a metaphor of something that happened in World War II, maybe? Is it a metaphor of post-colonial British schmeshme?
I would say that the story is a fable, as in the book that I read, there was a large epilogue called About Fables. So,
Okay.
Right.
in which William Golding himself wrote a whole thing, an epilogue about fables. So I would say the story is a fable, and in that case, a metaphor.
But have you read that part?
Yeah, I've read that part.
Can you share it with us? A
Well,
synopsis
I read it like three weeks ago.
Yeah, you don't
so
have it with you now, or
I don't have it with me now.
Pity.
no, but yeah, I mean, of course, this story is a metaphor, and it's a discussion about the nature of man.
Yeah.
But I guess what I meant by this question is if it's an allusion to something very specific, like a very specific time or event in history.
Well, then it would allude to the event he mentioned in that epilogue was the gas chambers of Auschwitz and the Holocaust. As what he meant by that was what men can do to each other under pressure of a group.
Mm-hmm.
So you had in World War II
National Socialism.
National Socialism in Germany, and under that totalitarian regime, normal people, normal German people would became
part of this.
became part of the
This sort of savage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were not the prisoners, but the guards,
Mm-hmm.
and that were normal people. They were not inherently evil.
Like the twins near the end of the story.
Yeah, they're forced to tag along.
Some were forced, some didn't know it, some just
For some, it's willful ignorance.
Yeah, willful ignorance. They had to survive. They had to have work.
I probably a lot of people, a lot of kids in the story, and a lot of people in that time just went along with it because that was just sort of what was happening.
Yeah,
and
because it was easy.
Yeah,
the easy way.
Those that shouted like we need to do something else.
Yeah, and
where
follow them.
And I think the story is a commentary on the fact how easy it is for society to break down into savagery.
Yeah, to be led astray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a commentary on that.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm not as well read as you in history, but what I do know of history, I always find the 20th century very interesting because indeed you have these very strange movements where entire population groups are swept into this sort of strange ideology, and you get these very bizarre results. So, while this book being written in the middle of that century,
yeah,
I suppose it could very well allude to that in one way or another. But I have to admit, the reason why I wrote down this question was because I could then quote this little bit, because on the internet you have, from what I hear, a lot of people making analysis like, oh, it's about no, it's about British post-colonialism. No, it's about men and blah, 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 blah. And in my version of the book, there's an introduction by Stephen King, which is a pretty nice written introduction, actually. And he tells that he read the book as a child, and then at adult age he listened to an audiobook version, and I'm going to quote from there. Imagine my surprise, shock might be closer, when half a century after that visit to the bookmobile, parked in the dusty dooryard of the Methodist Corner School, I downloaded the audio version of Lord of the Flies and heard William Golding articulating, in the charmingly casual introduction to his brilliant reading, exactly what had been troubling me. One day I was sitting one side of the fireplace, and my wife was sitting on the other, and I suddenly said to her, wouldn't it be a good idea to write a story about some boys on an island, showing how they would really behave, being boys and not little saints as they usually are in children's books? And she said, that's a first-class idea, you write it. So I went ahead and wrote it. And I find that so funny when you have like entire analysis of, William Golding intended this, and it's a symbol for this, and blah, 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 and then you have this direct quote, oh, I don't know, I just want to write a book about boys on an island. Fuck you.
And how they
really
behave.
So, and how they really behave.
So there is definitely a human nature element in there.
Yeah. From what I read and remember, William Golding, this is his first book, and he won a Nobel Prize straight away. But he was a school teacher, so he knew a lot about boys.
Boys,
I was going to say, don't you, Arjen, because you're also a school teacher. But then we have the same situation again. Like, oh yeah, you do know a lot about little boys, don't you, Arjen?
I know that.
You're a little boy.
I also teach.
But I think if one would write a book, he wrote a book after World War II. So his view on humans and boys
has to be influenced
by all the things that happened in World War II.
Arguably, yes.
Yeah, but it is well known and agreed upon that the book indeed is a sort of commentary on another book, The Coral Island, about little boys on an island and they're perfect little saints.
I shall invoke my right as the timekeeper. We must progress.
Yes. Well, does Ralph lose? We already had that one. What's with the anti-Philby? What's with the Mulberry Boy kid?
Yeah.
He's there and then he's not anymore.
I totally forgot about this guy until you brought him up.
Yeah. He's there, and then he disappears, and they just keep reminding you that he was there.
But they never talk about it.
Yeah.
I think that's a very fun little thing in the book.
Yeah, because he probably died in a fire which they accidentally caused.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, fell down a hole.
I was like, maybe he just as a surprise attack somewhere near the end of the book, like, I'm still alive!
Oh, look,
I was just sitting there with all those, this nice fruit trees, and I
Nice
had a
native
really
people.
nice oasis there.
I was
and-
sitting here with my friend Steve.
And Philby. Philby was there
Philby
too.
was there as well.
Oh wait, that was Pete!
Philby was also there.
No, he's the anti-Philby.
Yeah, but if he
Because he's not there anymore.
would have lived, then he would be
He would have grown up to be Philby.
Oh, that's why.
That's where you went. You went to another book.
Everyone is the time traveler.
Yes, it's discussed in one of the many fan fiction books about the time machine.
Yes.
All right, well, whatever.
He's the well. I mean, he
Say that
This
loud.
is the first reminder that things are going to hell.
yes.
Yeah.
He's
This is not going to be a pleasant ride.
yeah. He's the reminder that things will go wrong.
Yeah, because at the start of the book you have all these boys, and then
The
you
little
have
ones.
you have Ralph who says, "Well, we have to take responsibility of the little ones," and then, oh wait, there's one gone. Where is he?
I
I
was.
think
We have a fire. Where is he?
I just want to share this mental picture. Have you guys seen Top Gun?
Yes.
not
There's-
very much.
There's this scene in there where they play beach volleyball.
Yeah.
There's this song in the back, playing with the boys. And you see like these muscular men playing beach volleyball,
that's
and so that scene basically is the start of the book for me. It's where there's just these guys, and it's like,
everything's-
we're on this island, everything is cool,
Melon.
playing with the where's the guy, and then the anti-Philby happens, and then the scene ends,
and then reality strikes.
then reality
Well,
strikes.
and what I just realized, maybe with our time, we shouldn't be alluding back to previous questions, but I guess they're acknowledging that the boy is gone, but not ever bringing it up, is also a sort of this is how people would behave. Like, if we don't talk about it, it's not a problem, right?
Yep.
It's a quantum Philby.
Quantum Philby. Wow. You deserve a sticker for
Yeah,
that.
like one part of his face is there, and the other isn't.
The other isn't.
Or is it?
Stuck in the time machine.
All right, if I
have-
may continue to the next question.
You may. Yes. You
Right.
may.
Did you like Piggy?
As
Yeah.
a person, no, I would not. He's not on my Christmas card list.
No, but as a character.
As a character, I mean, he's basically the what do you call it?
The whiner.
The malcontent?
Yeah, well, yeah,
The voice
the voice of reason. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's basically the voice. I mean, he's necessary on this island, but God fucking damn it, he's such a whiner.
I know. I suddenly. Oh, it could be a question, but I'm too late. But you got ego, super ego, and
Yes, this is actually an interpretation we talked about in that Ralph is he's the hunter, right? Ralph.
No,
Jack's
Jack's down.
All right, welcome back. We experienced some minor technical difficulties, but
Minor.
what we should be doing all right now. We were just talking about Ralph and Jack and Piggy and how they relate to the.
Ego, and super ego.
Yes.
We're going to say it at the same time.
No, we weren't.
So
We
Freudian.
practiced our choreography.
Yeah, man, I did the fiery hand motions. So yeah, so there's this theory that in Lord of the Flies you have the three characters, Jack, Ralph, and Piggy. They represent the different parts of human psychology in Freudian theory. In that Jack represents the id, also known as the impulses, and basically just desire, and it's like, I want this, Sonic, gotta go fast. Then you have Ralph, who's the ego, in that in that he tries to be civilized and portray a civilized person outwards, but is also sort of slave to his impulses somewhat.
He's the balance between.
Yes, and then you have Piggy, who is the super ego, in that he is the conscience, and he's constantly the driving force to do what must be done and do good. And then, like you said, Ralph is sort of teetering between these two.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we were talking about.
Indeed. And I find it very interesting that those characters, that Piggy, we were talking about Piggy, he's like super ego. I find him an interesting character.
He's also super stupid.
Yeah, I know.
No,
And apparently a land whale.
yeah, we missed that, didn't we? Still, sorry, Jim.
Fuck Konami.
Exactly.
So I was thinking, because Jack and his hunters, they are after hunting the pigs, and we have this character specifically named Piggy. I was thinking that Piggy would be the one who would be killed in the accident.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
Yeah, and then it turns out it's Simon
Yeah.
instead of Piggy, and well, spoilers. Oh no, wait, there are spoilers. Piggy dies when he
Gets hit by a rock.
hits by a rock,
Which is
and
kind of
then
And at that exact moment, also the conch dies.
conch breaks apart. So that's the end of civilization,
Yep.
because the voice of reason died.
okay.
Super ego is dead.
Oh, yeah.
It
So-
got rid.
Yeah. So Jack
Get
doesn't have
good.
any ego. Jack doesn't have any ego.
Get good, Piggy. GG, Nori.
Well, maybe he would. Maybe he would have been able to dodge it if he wasn't so obese.
If he wasn't so fucking fat.
Yeah,
Like a whale.
Oh my god.
you got
I'm
it.
sorry, kids. It's-
no, I can't get out of the way. I can't get all these cheeseburgers.
I'm sorry, kids. We're referring to a joke that was off camera because technical issues.
Yeah, so
No, it's not important.
okay, but it was
It was
my
funny.
bad.
Piggy should have juked the rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also-
just go a little to it, and then
Yeah.
Also, it's not like we hate fat, or sorry, not like we hate people who are overweight or whatever. It's just
No, because you love me, right?
yeah, absolutely. And Aryan is a total land whale, so
Yes, and he likes boys. All right. We are. Our conversation is.
I'm sorry.
Our conversation is rapidly derailing into savagery. So
Because the super ego is dead. The super ego is stupid.
let's continue on with the semi-last question. This was a question proposed by Jay, namely, are there heroes in this story?
No.
So,
Thank you. On to the next question.
no. So I, if you'll indulge me for a minute, I'll look up the definition of hero that I'm talking about, because in literature, a hero has very specific characteristics.
It's not like Superman kind of superhero.
You mean like
No, no,
it's
yeah,
like
a
another
classical
kind.
hero?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
classic.
yeah, a literary hero. So,
sorry.
which can be. So, for example, we recently talked about this which is why I'm bringing it up now. We talked about this in.
The old man and sea?
No, in university when we were discussing Pride and Prejudice, because I was
And
I was-
zombies?
no zombies, unfortunately. That would have made the book actually interesting. I'm a barbarian. I'm sorry. Pride and Prejudice fucking sucks.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Spoilers.
I'm very sorry. But I was talking about this with my fellow classmates, and we were discussing if there were heroes in a literary sense in Pride and Prejudice, and I argued that there was like the main character is not a hero. There's this woman and she's a main character, but there's a guy who gets introduced as an antagonist, but later turns out to be a good person, and he is.
Spoilers.
I argue, yeah, I'm not naming names because I don't know names, but I would argue that
All right,
The
Jay.
Pride and the Prejudice.
Jay,
yeah.
I argue that they are.
I have to. I
Yeah,
have to make.
I have the thing now.
I have to make a commentary on your commentary, because instead of giving the definition, you're just giving an example from
Yeah.
a book that we haven't read.
I know. Okay, a hero, masculine or gender neutral, or heroine, feminine, is a person or main character of a literary work who, in the face of danger, combats adversity through impressive feats of ingenuity, bravery, or strength, often sacrificing his or her own personal concerns for some greater good. So do we see this happen in the book? Someone who stands up and sacrifices and makes a sacrifice to stand up for what they think is right.
But they all do. It's ego and superego. So Jack,
Yeah, but
they
you-
all
I know.
stand up for what they think is right.
Well, we're talking about some greater good specifically here.
Great.
Yeah, but
So
yeah,
so do they make?
but in the eyes of the person, in the eyes of Jack, having meat is the greater good.
Well, I mean
No.
that's how it starts, but it ends with him on a throne.
Yeah,
like,
but
give
that's-
me more
He's-
attention.
Jack is definitely a villain in this case, and
Yeah.
we as observers have the benefit of seeing the full context of the story.
Yeah.
So disconnecting from being on the island, we are the god who judges them. Do we see heroes in this story?
No,
So we
I don't think.
I
No,
think
I don't think there is a hero because, well, there is talk about greater good,
Mhm.
and I think in the end, Jack and Piggy
And Ralph.
Ralph and Piggy, they don't sacrifice something for the greater good.
no,
They try to uphold the greater good.
but they don't actually do.
Yeah,
They don't make a sacrifice to make it so.
Mm-hmm.
They just whine that they want it, but
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the other should listen to them because they know what the greater good is.
yeah,
because
and
of course they
Jack
know what's right.
and Jack is the one who goes not for the greater good. He goes for personal
Yeah,
Game.
His own
personal
good.
gain,
Yeah, 'cause
personal power.
Jack is a hedonist basically.
Yeah,
So he goes after his impulses, and he's just
Yeah.
basically wanting those impulses to be satisfied.
and Ralph is I think the perfect is a good example of how ordinary people would probably react under these circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would reckon I agree. I can't remember any like acts of heroism of people standing up in the face of great adversity.
Well, I have to mention it. Ralph, he is in a way the chief. He tries to get the others around, and he is the one who actually goes, who leads a party to face the beast. Because at one point in the story,
The little ones can't sleep anymore.
yeah, little ones can sleep, and I think it's Sam and Eric. They find the corpse, or well, they think they have found the beast, and then they're all scared. They don't dare to get up the mountain, and then Ralph is the one who leads them up the mountain. Who leads a party of the boys? He is the one who leads them.
yeah.
So
but then he challenges Jack
yeah,
to go be the one to go face it, and then Jack does actually go.
but he himself also goes.
Yeah, after.
Oh yeah, he goes after him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, but in Jack's case, it's not heroism. It's he's being challenged and he doesn't want his authority undermined. So
Yeah.
exactly. He's
Ralph is not a hero, but he is a leader.
Yes, but being a leader doesn't necessarily make
Yeah.
you here. I remember. I'm sorry again. Disclaimer. I haven't reread the book for this discussion. I'm just going on memory. I remember Piggy undertaking action when he sees that things are on fire. Is that correct?
the first time when things are
Yeah,
on
yeah.
fire,
So what does he do then? Because I remember. I remember because
I mainly remember Piggy as being sort of relatable in that he comes with common sense and rational thinking, but he also is a lazy, obese. Or
Wait,
not
I mean,
obese, but
he's a landwhale, man. He can't move that fast.
But he's also they see the conch as the authority on the island. If you have the conch, you can speak.
Yeah, the symbol of
Yeah,
authority.
and Piggy is always protecting the conch. As soon as it is in danger, Piggy is the one that grabs it and keeps
yeah,
it
but
safe.
that's also not out of heroism, right?
That's for his own sake, because when
Yeah,
That's
it's his
to
only
maintain
handle on-
their sense
yeah.
of
yeah.
it's to, sorry for speaking. Can you repeat that? I was speaking.
Oh
sorry.
yeah, I only had half a sentence. It's his only handle on blank. It's his
It's his only handle on society, on
Yeah.
civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what. It's
Yeah,
what,
and also his own voice within the group.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the only thing that affords him a speaking role, so to say.
Then what we were talking about these three boys, Ralph, Jack, and Piggy.
Yes.
But then there is the fourth boy,
Which is
Simon.
Yes.
And what did you think of Simon? And what did you think of? And that I find that
I was saving that for the next question,
okay.
which we might as well I think start at now, with your permission.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Permission granted.
Show me what
I think
you
the one
got.
big question. Oh, we're getting more technical difficulties. What even is this? I'm going to close this for a minute, and I'll be back in a second. Hold on. All right, welcome back to the third and final act, where we will be discussing the big question of the book: is man evil by nature?
Okay.
Go ahead, Dino.
Coming back to my earlier point, because I want to talk about Simon. Now
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Lord of the Flies, about the what is the Lord of the Flies in the story? Lord of the Flies refers to the head of a sow of a female pig that has been butchered or slaughtered by the boys, and then is put on a stick. And then there are these flies around the head, and that is the Lord of the Flies. And Simon, he finds, and the boys do that because they want to appease
The beast.
the beast.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Sorry, I just need to get this up. I need to say this out loud, and then I'll be okay. So you said Simon, because we're talking about what is man. My first thing was Simon Belmont, and then it's like, what is man? A miserable pile of secrets. Do you know this?
This is a Castlevania joke.
This is a Castlevania joke. Sorry, I just need to get this off my mind. Please
right.
keep going.
Anywho,
So that's the Lord of the Flies, and Simon, he finds the
Lord of
Lord of the Flies, and then in his mind or in his perception, the dead head, the dead pig head, begins to talk to him, and I found that so weird.
It was such a good
It
paragraph.
was, yeah, it was, but it was a good
It
paragraph.
was the only part you did enjoy.
Yeah, for me it was. For me it was. I'm reading the story, and then we have this weird bonanza, and then okay,
Story goes on.
story goes on. I didn't get it. I found it very strange, and well, I've read some things about it, and the Lord of the Flies refers to Beelzebub. You have the
Right.
demon,
Mm-hmm.
and Beelzebub is literal translation is Lord of the Flies.
Oh, all right.
So, and Beelzebub is the devil.
This explains so many Binding of Isaac power-ups.
Yeah.
Indeed, it does.
So and that's Lord of the Flies is the devil, and it also the well, it's a tribute. The tribute head is kind of evil. It has an evil
Yeah,
look
well,
upon it.
It's corrupted.
Yeah.
Here was something which was alive and friendly once, and we've corrupted it.
Yeah.
So, I obviously remember, but can you sort of recap what the thing says for those of us who don't? I obviously do, but like maybe the viewer doesn't. Ari seems to have forgotten, or like
No.
because I obviously remember. I haven't forgotten at all what it's. I talked about it yesterday, but like for other people.
No, I don't know what it says. Something against Simon, and Simon is like.
He gives Simon some sort of quest, a mission to do.
Yeah.
Simon must do something for the Lord of the Flies, and it goes really weird. I read it twice, the paragraph, because it is a monologue in his head. But it is a dialogue with a head, which is really weird to read.
Yeah, and I think Simon wasn't epileptic, right? At least that's how he came across to me. Because I think he was also introduced at the start of the story as the weird choir boy who keeps on fainting.
Oh,
Oh.
is it? Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And then,
yeah.
And then he goes
It's never.
to town.
It's never. Yeah. It's never said out loud
That's-
that he has.
That's the way I interpreted it. But
And you with your asthma.
sucks to your asthma. Yeah, actually, when I was editing the review video and looking up pictures, there was also this motivational poster called "Asthma." Sucks to it.
Nice. But I don't remember exactly what Lord of Flies says to Simon.
Yeah, and I can't find it either. If only I had Control F5s.
May I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go on with talking about stuff.
Well, I think Simon is indeed an important character for this question because, well, Jack is evil more or less, and the sort of the moral of the story is that when you leave people / children / people to their own devices, take away the restrictions of society, then they become savage monsters. But not all of the characters do. Especially Simon. He, like Jack can flourish within this island society. Even in regular society, he has found his way to be a pack leader of sorts. Only then a choir leader, but he does use that to gain authority over his pack, and he's really a character which can turn into a villain because society is removed. But I think Simon is a character who remains to have something innately good about him.
So Simon?
So Simon Simon is just a good character. He has no evil desires that come popping up.
If I
because
can,
of this. Yeah, sure.
if I found it directly because I knew what the next chapter was. A few things the head says to Simon are like, "What are you doing out here all alone? Aren't you afraid of me? There isn't anyone to help you, only me, and I'm the beast. Blah, blah, blah. Come now, get back to the others, and we'll forget the whole thing. This is ridiculous. You know perfectly well you only meet me down there. So don't try to escape." And then there comes the big sentence.
Yeah,
I'm warning you. I'm going to get waxy. Do you see? You're not wanted. Understand? We are going to have fun on this island. Understand? We're going to have fun on this island. So don't try it on, my poor misguided boy. Or else, said the Lord of Flies, we shall do you. See? Jack and Roger and Maurice and Robert and Bill and Piggy and Ralph. Do you see? They do you. So he's saying to Simon like...
Oh, I guess if this is a sort of inner confrontation, then perhaps I was wrong with what I was saying. If this is secretly his desire, Simon, to also be like the others and just give in
part of the group,
be, well, evil. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say next, but
Well, yeah, like I said, there's a lot to analyze about this book, and I think Simon as a character, because we talked about this often during my bachelor's.
Yeah.
And Simon as a character always kind of stumps us, because where there's very strict things going on with Ralph and Jack and Piggy, they have very strict roles, so to say, and Simon sort of just floats
outside of that pattern.
Yeah, he kind of floats outside of the story as well.
Yeah, but he does that in the story, even in the book. He really does that. He goes away from the group to his.
But that's what I'm saying.
Place.
He floats. He's not necessarily. He's not part of what's happening. He floats sort of beside it, and it's he's very hard to pin down. I argued at one point. I argued that he represents insanity in the story. It's like he's disconnected to the goings on. Clarity through insanity, so to say. Because at one point he realizes he finds the parachutists and he realizes that there's people looking for us.
Yeah.
But then he dies, so it's like clarity through insanity. But yeah, I don't know. I think Simon is very hard to pin down.
Yeah, I find him interesting character, but I cannot say anything useful about him.
Yeah.
A friend of ours, Vrenka, she also mentioned that she would have liked to have read about Simon more, because he sort of sometimes just shows up in the story,
Yeah.
and
And he
Then
disappears
not.
again. But he doesn't do a lot until his death.
Yeah.
He hasn't got any role.
but he is around when things happen. He's like Philby, I guess.
Yeah, he's always...
Simon is also here.
Yeah.
All right. Oh no, we're already running dry.
Right. Let's just run it off then.
Well, yeah, I was going to say goodbye, but I think Dino wants to answer the question.
And the question was...
I'm not sure.
Is man evil by nature?
No.
I think good and evil are human perceptions of something. I
Yeah.
think most men will do anything to survive,
Yeah, fair enough.
but is an animal evil when it tries to survive.
Yeah, and do the kids become animals? I think I'm afraid I have to make this compromise that I will leave this as an audience question.
Yay!
So please do comment what you think. Is man evil by nature, and or is this argued by William Golding in this book? And we will be very happy to go into that discussion with you. And then we will say all the things that we have to say.
Yes.
Thank you so very much for listening. This was Jay. and Arjen.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
And Dino.
Bye-bye.
And I was Dylan. Next month we'll be discussing Robinson Crusoe. And hopefully we'll see you then.
Jay will not be there for that.
No, he will not. But we will have a new guest speaker.
And they're good at things.
She does like Pride and Prejudice.
She does?
She does.
I dislike her already.
No, don't say that.
Oh,
She's
one last thing I have to say about the book. The beast that the children are afraid of, the kids are afraid of, is actually inside of them.
It's human nature.
It's human nature.
It's human nature.
Excellent.
Thank you so very much for listening. Please enjoy your human nature.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Human nature is a landwhale.
With glasses.
Fuck Konami.